We only been taught to manage these emotions through alcohol. That's what we've been taught. We've been taught to do it through alcohol or substance abuse, whatever that might be. A lot of guys went to marijuana, whatever the case, but never taught to experience all the hardship raw, just straight up nothing.
Looking back, yeah, you're an asshole to your son. Like that he's perfect, man. Like he's everything good in me.
I think traditional counseling will evolve to more of a mentorship experience.
Yeah. All these guys that we look up to, or guys that look up to us, when we talk, it's letting them know that it's okay to feel this way. Don't run around calling other men who are trying to do better pieces of shit because they're not 6 months down the road like you are. Help him understand where he's dropping the ball and how he can pick it up and keep moving instead of calling him a fat piece of shit and he's lazy. You're not going to create healthy, strong men by demoralizing them consistently. We're not sending these guys to war.
Welcome to the VinnyRoc Podcast.
I took the blows and did it my way.
It's time. The VinnyRoc Podcast.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Welcome to the VinnyRoc Podcast. I got my boy here, Joe Luplow. Which, when people start calling you Joe, I never get used to it. I'm sure eventually it will, but our whole careers, I called you Luplow, so that takes some learning.
Yeah, I grew up on Joey, coming home and I started reintroducing myself as Joe because I was growing up now, you know?
Yeah.
And nobody calls me Joey from back home still. I mean, nobody calls me Joe now. All my friends growing up, they still call me Joey. I'm 40 years old.
I call
Joey.
my cousin Mike. Yeah, I call my cousin Mikey, and he calls himself Nigel.
With an accent too?
Yeah. There you go. Hey, well, welcome to the VinnyRoc Podcast. Let me go to some of these sponsors. I have them written up on a wall, so I don't forget them because that's how my brain works. But Core Medical Group is male hormone replacement therapy. If you're a male, if you're a veteran, if you're a first responder, they're an incredible company that works with you to help you get your hormones back in order. I recommend you guys hit them up, let them know that the VinnyRoc Podcast sent you, and try and get some blood work for a discounted rate. Again, I've worked with these guys for so long. I really like who they are as people. I like the organization. And so if you guys are interested, you guys are questioning some of your blood work and your levels of hormones, hit them up, Core Medical Group. Modern Gun School, which I think is really cool. So if you're a veteran and you have your GI Bill or your Voc Rehab, you can do online armor school. You can do it directly in the comfort of your own home. They send you the materials you need, and you can learn how to be an armor in the comfort of your house. I love that. Most veterans will love that. But this program is not very expensive, and it's a good time, and they have awesome instructors there. And so I really believe you guys will love this program if it's something that you're looking for. If you haven't used your military GI Bill or anything, so check them out. It's called Modern Gun School. And last but not least is Straight Razors on Instagram. It's grimblades.com, and that is straight razors, man. That is just made from United States of America. Oh, they're in Idaho, and it's a cool company. I've worked with them for many years. We used to work on several other businesses together. Grimblades.com. You guys go check them out. Or Straight Razors on Instagram. And then you got all my little companies that you already know. So don't worry about that. My man, Luplow. Me and Luplow, for the audience, we're in Ranger Battalion together. And we weren't just in Ranger Battalion together. We were like everywhere together from RIF to pre-Rangers to Ranger School to...
the first part of Ranger School.
The first part of Ranger School. We were in different platoons, but we got deployed together. On a couple of those tours so in our tours, you had first, second, and third platoon, and then sometimes you get deployed with one of the platoons, and you guys would rotate on the schedule, and we were there as well. So we've been around for a long time, and we were also, we've just been there also with Sean Barraza and Language's Final Resting Place as well. So we've just been around each other for a very long time. Yeah. Just do me a favor, man. After, like, you've always had a really good physical fitness physique. Like, I don't know if that's genetics. You can clear the air with me on what that is.
No, yeah, it's always genetics always play a role. I don't give a shit what anybody says. Like, they always play a role.
Because do you remember Kupitz, Johnny Kupitz? You and him, man, had similar frames, but he's a really, really short guy. But that dude would take a shirt off and look like a bodybuilder, and you're like, what the hell did this guy do? And then one year you did, and I was like, Jesus, after Ranger School, right? After the fluctuation of all the shit from Ranger School the hard one. But after that, I remember, I was like, damn, Luplow's jacked. And it's just, you had this frame. I think we went to like the Hummer, the GMV Hummer, and motorcycle training right there locally in.
We broke one of the bikes, and we broke one of the Humvees and a 4-wheeler.
Yeah,
and a GMV. We broke 3 things.
We were at training, and I remember you took your shirt off, and I was like, fuck, this dude is jacked, bro. And that's when I know, like, man, this dude has a physique that's insane. And then shortly after the military, as I've seen social media, you got really big into the powerlifting and bodybuilding scene. We haven't talked about it, and I'd love to know the path after military and what that looked like to what you're doing now.
Yeah, so if I can start with the beginning, I started powerlifting when I was 14, and I've always been that guy. Like, we would go to football practice, then in South Texas, and we practice. We trained midday, we trained after school, we practice midday, practice after school, and then after football practice, I still went to the gym. Like, I was that guy. And even in Italia, we train all day, and I still go to the gym that evening. So I never really wasn't working out. It was just kind of something I just did. Like, it was just my thing.
Was that like instilled in you from family, or is that just something you just found?
That's just something I did. I mean, my dad was always an athlete. My mom was an athlete. Genetically, it was there. It was something I was always inclined to be. It's just what I did. Like, even growing up as a little kid, I was probably better at football, playing backyard football and baseball, kickball, all those, stupid shit like that, like the kids do. I was just genetically just there. I mean, it just better, respectfully speaking. But then I honed that a lot because I always did the hard stuff. Like, I would go to football practice and then I'd go lift weights after. Like, I'd eat a banana, drink a Gatorade, go lift weights. So, like, not very many guys were doing that. Most guys would go home and chill, And then even now today, I when I'm on the road working, and I'm working, 7/12s in a refinery or something like that, I still make my time to the gym. At 39 years old, I'll still get up an hour early, get a 2-mile run in at the hotel, get to the refinery, work all day, and then go straight to the gym, get a quick shower at the gym, do a quick rinse, and then lift weights. Really not the same. Training's not even remotely the same as it used to be. Now it's just staying healthy and staying mobile, and I like to say staying capable. But that's always been my work ethic. It's always been, if there's downtime, you're just wasting time.
Yeah. And Raider Town, we didn't really have a lot of time to focus on physique as much as you would want. It was like kick you in the nuts, train, and then if you had time, go to the gym. And I found myself at the gym, man, I could probably say I've been in the Ranger gym probably under 20 times in my career.
Oh man, dude, I live in that thing. I still reminisce about it, man. Like, cause even when my dad was a pre-ranger instructor, when I lived with him, when I went to go visit him, I was a little boy. My dad was in the battalion. He's ACO as well, which is kind of cool.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. And he was a pre-ranger instructor in Georgia. When I would go visit him as a little boy, he would take me to the gym I was probably 10 or 11, and this is back like different era. These are like the guys who jumped into Panama. Like, these are a different kind of dude.
That's a different generation.
And I still remember going to that same gym during like holdover or whatever for RIP and pre-ranger. Like, it was the same gym my dad took me to when I was a little boy. It was mainly because he was babysitting, kind of thing. Like, he had to go to work, but just could sit down right there, just hang out, go jump on the bars or do pull-ups or something. Like, you let me do whatever. And then even referring back to 275, like going just, I could still, dude, like, I don't want to say those were the best years of my life because that's to imply that you don't have good ahead of you. But man, those were some times that I miss so much because it's just when you walk outside and you smell that pine air of Washington, and then you walk to that gym and you hear like Godsmack, it's just loud as fuck, just coming out all the windows are open, all the doors are open, and it's just straight testosterone in there, man. Like you're walking into a gym of just like honed, just savages, and everybody in there is just
it was
like,
probably a time in my life that I didn't appreciate.
yeah, no, and I didn't either. But it was just like I was like, I'd go in there, it's like it's go time, it's time to train, it's time to lift weights, and I just do whatever in there, man, because like like you're PFC special, even if you're a TAF spec 4, like you're kind of like, you have these platoon sergeants in there that just fucking yoked, and like I'm. Like I like to think I was big. Yeah, you're big for a 160-pound dude that's 5'9". Like you're skinny and lean. You're not jacked like these guys. These guys, like, remember Sergeant Green from Pre-Ranger or from RIP?
Bro, he was scary.
Jacked. Sergeant Rubin, Sergeant Young. Those guys were jacked. Navarro, monsters.
Sergeant Rubin was jacked and tall, so he was intimidating, bro.
Spirit, like. We're holding our rucksacks above our head because it's what we do, It just sucks. And somebody farts. And like, we're a bunch of 18-year-old kids. Like, we're going to laugh. Somebody giggled. He's yelling at us about war. And understandably so. He was in a place because, he was there when it all started. So, like, his I don't want to say traumas, but his experiences was, we had none at that point. And somebody farted. And somebody giggled. And he just fucking like one hand just like throwing guys out of the way and just tackles this guy. And it was the funniest, like looking back, I was like, I want to be able to do that. Because this dude just throwing people out of the way like we were nothing. Like that's what I aspired to be. It's like I want to be that capable. And then even looking back, like as shitty as Rip was, as tough as it was, like those guys are still the epitome of what I think a man should be. A little crazy. I mean, I probably would say they're a little crazy, but intentionally so, and understandably, rightfully so, for what we were going to do. But their physical prowess was everything that I don't want to say that's what a man is, but that's absolutely a trait that a man should have, some capability of that. Maybe not Sergeant Rubin's capacity, because like I say, he was like 6'2", 240, just a monster. Like, so you can only go so far, being 5'9", but like.
There's a story of Green that there was a RIP candidate was running, and then he had either a heat stroke or he passed out, and Green picked him up and ran him the last mile back to the fob and like got him medical attention, like, and faster than anyone else could ever.
I believe it, dude. I believe it. Like those guys were, and that's what I'm saying. Like, and the thing is, like, looking back, I was like, as the way I looked at them at that point in my life, I was like, that's something to strive for. And I like to believe there was a point in my life physically that I would have been capable of that.
Yeah.
And it just takes time and work. But like Sergeant Green was another animal, dude. He had tree trunks. Like he'd walk around. Was he Filipino?
I think he was.
Filipino. Fucking quads were like tree trunks, dude. And that's back when we still had like the Ranger panties. So like,
that was a legacy when you had those.
Those are good times, man. Good times.
So catch me up from after you got out of the military. How did you?
So, in the regiment, all we did was run, swim, fight. We'd go to the gym when you could go to the gym if you had that kind of team or squad leader. But I had Sergeant Barnes who liked to run, so we ran. He liked to fight, so we fought a lot. So that's primarily what we did a lot of. So you had to make time for the gym yourself. So we did, but at the same time, because we train like that, you're burning so many calories that you don't really get. For me anyway, my metabolism wasn't going to allow me to get big what I wanted to be. Like I wanted to be like 220. I wanted to be big. And so when I got out, I didn't have to run anymore. I didn't have to do all the other stuff, all the cardio and all the conditioning that we did there. So I became a personal trainer at a gym. I showed up to this gym in slacks and a buttoned up. I didn't know how to do an interview, dude. It's a Globo gym. It's a trainer in like a polo and like cotton shorts, like doing my interview. And I'm here with like a tucked in button up shirt to a commercial gym.
It's appropriate.
And I know it was my first real interview. And he hired me because like once they got my background, I was, oh yeah, you're hired. And then I caught the get big bug, man. It was like 2007, and I was out of the high school for 3 weeks before I went to the military. So I never really got like that time to myself. And now that I could do whatever I wanted to do, I was like, I'm gonna get big. So I started bodybuilding. not competitively or anything like that, but that's the bug I caught. I just wanted to get big. Like most guys in their early 20s just want to get jacked to 10 or whatever. And then I did that for a little while, and I got up to about 190 pounds, probably the biggest I got there. And then I got into Olympic weightlifting, which I stayed around 190 or so because I competed at 187. I did okay there. It wasn't the best. I was definitely strong. I had a lot of brute strength which carried into my next sport, but I didn't have that precision, that speed necessary to compete at like a world level or even like an elite national level in Olympic weightlifting. I mean, I could squat, push press, deadlift, and all that with the other guys, but when it came to the actual Olympic lifts themselves, I just didn't have that speed or that precision. So I left that, and then we couldn't take drugs then because you get drug tested at national events. And I'm not going to be that guy that embarrasses his coach. And so when I decided to leave Olympic weightlifting and I went to strongman, the gloves are off. Like now it's like, if you're not blasting, you're not really trying kind of thing. And I'm not saying that there aren't guys that don't, because there are guys that do it naturally. There's freaks out there. There's Michael Jordans. But I feel like that's something I just have to say because I don't think there are. I think every guy
when you say that people are on anabolics.
Yeah. So like that's when I moved to strongman. But my brute strength that I had at Olympic weightlifting and all the precision and speed that I developed over there carried over really heavily into strongman. So I excelled really, really, really high. I did really well in strongman. Competed at a pretty elite level for a while at 100 kilos. So I got up to 226 pounds, the biggest I got. But 5'9". And dude, I just genetically, I built like a body. I trained like a strength athlete, but just genetically, I built like a bodybuilder. So that was kind of cool. You know what I mean? And
bro,
then,
I've seen the pictures. I was like, damn, this dude looks like you're like your body looked dope. The physique, to me,
a lot of drugs. I mean, to be honest, like I'm not going to be that guy who's not on. It was a lot of drugs, but aside from that, man, it was my life. I did everything right. I ate all the right foods, mostly. I slept. I ate 6 times a day. I mean, I was eating between 4,800 and 5,200 calories a day at one point. Slept I did everything I was supposed to do. I mean, when you couple all that hard work and that commitment and discipline to the genetics that I had, everything worked really well together. But yeah, the drugs absolutely had a lot to do with it. I mean, I'm not going to say they didn't. But, I wouldn't have got to where I was, as strong and as fast as I was without them. If I could go back and do things a little differently, absolutely. Because I know now that more is not always better, So, trust me, more is not better.
So what had you transition into coaching? And I guess what kind of made you change the whole path of like the whole heavy on the supplement side?
So what changed the path on supplement? I just got done. I was done. Like after 2019 nationals, I was going with the intent, like I would have podium. Like my intent was like, I'm going to be a national champion this year. Like this is my year. Genuinely, like there wasn't like, oh, this guy's going to beat me. Like, no, like I got it. Like I was 100% battling for the number 1 spot. And I had one bad event, and at that level, you fuck up by a second and a half, man, you're dropped 12 spots. And I just I had one bad event, and then I had a not so great event, and that dropped me to 7. And then it was just, I'm done. The miles had been put in. My body needed the rest. Even my doctor, before I left the nationals, that monitored my bloods, my hormones, like I know you press the envelope, Joe, but like we're getting to like an area where we want to start really having a serious conversation about what you're doing. So I peeled back after. I was like, well, I'm gonna push through nationals. It's like 2 or 3 weeks out, and then after that, I came off pretty much everything, and I stayed on testosterone for a while because that's my TRT, and then I just got healthy, and then I met my wife, my current wife. I met my wife, and she was competing in figure in NPC as a figure competitor. And she convinced me to try to do a class of physique show. Like she's like, you have the genetics and you already have the density from all the heavy decades of heavy lifting. I didn't build fluff muscle. I built really dense muscle because it's all heavyweight. So I already had the size. It was just all that sculpting. But then 2020 hits, COVID hits, and then when I started prepping for a show, I got on a bunch of gear again, but a little different this time because I had a bodybuilding coach as opposed to a strongman coach. The cycles are very similar, coincidentally. And then COVID happened, and then my show got canceled, so I came off of everything cold turkey. I came off everything cold turkey. I had been on testosterone for years, and because we were going to try to have a baby, and then I was off for about 18 months, and everything went back to normal. Like everything was healthy enough, but now I'm back on TRT, obviously, like, cause I'm pushing 40 and I still want to compete in something.
Yeah.
So did that answer your question, or did I digress?
No, you're good. So that's why you got to where you are now.
Yeah. Oh, and coaching. Yeah. So yes, about coaching. And it was a passion. I just liked, so I met this, she was probably 14 when I saw her do a strongman show, and she's local to me in North Dakota. I was like, little girl, I'll train you for free. Cause she was like strong, corn fed, like farm girl, super nice gal. Like her dad's awesome. Like they were just super good people. And, she wanted to get into strongman. I was like, I'll coach you for free. And then I started coaching her, and she started doing really well. Then other people started coming to me for powerlifting coaching. And as far as powerlifting goes, I would show up. I never trained for powerlifting. I just showed up to like, all right, well, the meet's on Saturday. I'll take Thursday and Friday off from training and hope I'm rested enough, and I'll just show up. I never prepped for powerlifting because I was always a strongman. And the training's the same, but different, if that makes sense. And I just started, my athletes started winning. They saw me compete. I was winning. So people started coming, like just local athletes started wanting to get coached. And I probably got to like 10 athletes that I was coaching for free before I kind of turned into an actual job. So then I started, I go, cool, I'm just do $100 a month for everybody else that adds on. And then from there, it just blew up. I had people started taking national records, countless state records, several national records. We had 2 world records at one point. And I started coaching national events, and then it kind of like, well, maybe I can do something with this. So we created Lup Strong, which turned into Stage 4 athletics or Stage 4 training. And now I don't even coach powerlifting anymore. That's what's crazy. Like I don't coach any strength athletes anymore. It's turned more into hybrid stuff. Just make like guys my age just want to be capable. Like they want to go run a 7-minute mile, but they still want to deadlift 4 or 5, which is super doable. Like that's not insanely fast or insanely heavy. It just requires consistency. And I think for a lot of men our age, it's more so about developing that consistency, discipline to maintain what you're capable of at this age. And it's also goal dependent. I'm 40. I'm not trying to squat 700 pounds anymore.
Yeah.
That's not why. I don't need to do that. But what I do want to do is I do want to run a 6.5-minute mile. I still want to be able to deadlift 500 pounds. Like there are things that I still want to be able to do, but I want to find a way to do it synergistically in a way that's going to make me a more capable protector of my family. And I think that's just something that a lot of us that come from the software, the special operations community have in our brain is we're always a little bit more aware of what's going on. We don't live so much in a bubble. And particularly with the way things are in the climate of the country now, it's like I have to be more capable. And you always kind of, and that might be a little bit of a PTSD thing or something like that, but you always just kind of want to be a little bit more prepared than everybody around you because.
Yeah, I don't know if it's considered PTSD or it's considered experienced in the world of really shit people and knowing to be ready for that at any moment, right? Because like, is it really PTSD to be more prepared when you know the world is full of shitheads?
Yeah, I mean, a little bit of both. I mean, because when I'm training, like when I'm getting up in my garage and I'm like, and it's like when I was in North Dakota and there was this period of time I was like, I'm gonna get up every morning and do something hard. And it's like -20 out there, And so I'd go to my garage, no socks, no shoes, no shirt, just a pair of shorts. And I had a heater. I had my cryptocurrency mining farm in there. So it stayed it was like in the 20s maybe in there. And I would get after it. I would get on my assault bike and go for 10 minutes hard. Just 10 minutes of anything hard. And then that was my like, there's somebody out there training harder than me that could kill me. So I have to come in here and do something stupid hard that I don't want to do. It's only going to take me 10 minutes. Get it out of the way. Like I'd go in there and I would do like 100 box jump burpees, just dumb shit. Nobody wants to do burpees, dude. More or less box jump burpees.
Now I hate burpees.
I had a 120 pound sandbag, like ground to overhead, just pick it up and press it above my head 100 times. And when I'm done, Go back inside, get a shower, and get ready for work. And I think that I mean, a little bit PTSD, because like there's somebody out there that's more capable of me, and that person can take what's mine. So I have to keep my edge in a way that's going to mentally remind me that I'm still capable of getting up and do something stupid hard in the morning that I don't want to do.
Yeah, that's the threshold of PTSD I'm okay with having.
Oh,
You know what I mean?
absolutely. No, absolutely. It's not a bad thing. The PTSD doesn't have to be a bad thing so long as you hone it and you direct it in a way that's going to be beneficial to your life. Figuring out how to do that is one thing, you know, and learning to cope with the other sides of it, all the negative, all the nasty parts of it is another. Because like when you're in there doing stuff, my mind doesn't not go places it doesn't need to go. You know, like when I'm in there by myself and there's no music, there's none. All I hear is like the fans from my mining farm, and it's probably in the mid 30s, lower 40s in my garage, and it's like it sucks, but like when you're like 5 minutes deep and it's starting to get shitty, and my mind doesn't go into places like, well, what would this guy have done? What would this guy have done? You know, if I quit now, how am I honoring them? Kind of, you know, it's like your mind still dips into these areas of remembering that isn't bad. It's not bad, but it's still there's still a piece of it that's oriented around PTSD type emotions. You know what I mean? And honestly, I use those, dude. Like I use that. It's not a bad thing so long as you just it sucks. Live for them. Do this because they would have done this. Do this because they would expect you to do this. Like just do what's expected of you. That's it. That's how you do it.
It took me a long time to get that mindset of like, do good things for those who can't anymore, right? Like I guess to say like, if there's some kind of a heaven and they're looking down on me, I hope that they're smiling saying, keep going, dude, you're killing it.
Yeah.
Right? You know what I mean?
That's what it is, man.
For a long time, I was thinking, let me show them how broken I feel. And that was just like self-destructive. That was yeah. And that was a weird way of like trying to show how much you love someone by destroying your own life. And I tell veterans, like, when you do that, I mean, we didn't just lose them that day, we lost ourselves. And that's fucked.
Yeah. To piggyback that, like you're developing this weak, I don't want to say weak, but it's you're victimizing yourself.
Absolutely.
And you're developing this perspective of yourself that you're not capable, when the reality is you're absolutely capable. Just do it. You know what I mean? You can't. I get it, man. I get it, because it takes. I mean, fuck, dude. I'm 40 almost, and I'm still battling it. You know, like there's been nights where it's you know, I've had to dredge. I mean, if I didn't have my son, you know what I mean? Like I don't know where I'd be. You know, so.
Talk to me about the mental health journey that you've been on, and now that you're working with us here at you know, like the Fuse.
It's been rough. Everything I've done has been super self-destructive. You know, like I can't stay in one place kind of thing. Like I've been married 3 times. I've been engaged 4. You know, like and everything I've done, I don't even know how to explain it, dude. Like I just can't cope. For the longest time, I wasn't able to really cope. I don't even know how to explain it.
What's going on, y'all? Thank you for joining our show. Thank you for supporting it throughout the years. Thank you for telling your friends about it. Real quick, let me get to our sponsors. Core Medical Group, you already know. Testosterone replacement therapy. If you guys are above the age of 25 and not feeling yourself, if your wife isn't feeling the same either, yeah, it's for both. You guys can go get your blood work done at Core Medical Group. There's a lot of questions about having babies. There's a protocol for that. You can still have kids while being on TRT. I got a ton of fucking kids. But you guys go check them out. I love them. I trust them. I think you guys will love them as well. Straight Razors on IG. Do you know what that is? Grimblades.com. American made right there in Idaho. You guys should go check them out. It's a straight razor company. They make several different kinds of razors, not just straight razors, but they're known for the straight razors. I love them. The owner's an incredible person, a great American patriot, and so obviously I support them. You guys go check out Straight Razors on IG or Grimblades.com. Scallywag Tactical, some custom knives. Several of you have bought the dagger. I love it. I think a lot of you will love it. Get it for your wives. She could take it. Well, she's going walking with the dogs or whatever. Skywalk Tackle is an incredible company. Again, it's just another company that I support heavily. They've been good to me. I'm good to them. So you guys go check them out. Modern Gun School, you guys have your veteran benefits still. If you're a veteran, you still have them. Go use it. Modern Gun School is for you. Learn how to be an armorer at the comfort of your own home. Learn how to make, more so fix, clean, and just be an expert and armor in your own home. You can't beat that. Go check them out. Modern Gun School. Just Meats. I'm trying this carnivore thing for a little while. I've been losing a little bit of weight and it feels great. Just Meats makes it easy. You guys can get Just Meats order. I got the links in my bio. It has meat that's already pre-cooked. All you have to do is heat it up. I get a lot of them sent to me, so I go ahead and throw them in the freezer. I defrost them. Boom, there's dinner, there's lunch. You guys will love Just Meats. Go check them out. Like I said, my link is in my bio, and all the links that we have, you guys can find all of our sponsors. United Patriot Coins. That's a little bit of a change for us, but we committed to this company and we love them. They've been taking care of us, and so we're going to start taking care of them. They're a very patriotic company. I love coins. I love silver. I love precious metals. So we just signed a partnership deal with them, and as well as United Patriot Supply is more than just a firearms dealer. They embody the spirit of tradition, showcasing expertise and igniting the passion amongst outdoor enthusiasts across the USA. I highly recommend this company. You guys go check them out at UnitedPatriotSupply.com. Those are our sponsors. I really appreciate you guys supporting this show, supporting everything I do. Don't forget Borderline book. You can get it on Amazon. You can get it at Barnes. Got some cool stuff coming up with Henry Rifles. I think you guys will love. Light Diffuser Retreat is coming around the corner. If you guys are looking for a men's wellness group, go check them out. And Tomorrow Battalion, if you're looking for a place to donate, a nonprofit that you can trust, Tomorrow Battalion is where it's at. We support veterans and first responders and their families. So you guys have any questions, you guys hit me up. Thank you for everything.
You know what happens, dude? Just only because I read all these stupid damn books and shit. What we do, like especially our personalities, is that we experience something, say combat, say life, doesn't matter, and we store it right away. We're like, okay, that sucked. That was weird. Boom, done. Next, and continue laughing and smiling and life. And we do these accomplishments, and we create all these things, and we become successful, just like you did in fitness, right? And you did in that world. You became great in this one. You became great in this one. Now you're coaching others to be great in it, and you're still just stacking traumas, it's subconsciously. And as you're putting them back there and you're not working on them, well, they're finding their way back out, right? There's that, it almost like internally that subconscious becomes almost like Ghostbusters and Slimer's trying to get out of the fucking box. You know what I mean? And so our traumas, our hardships, all those things that for so many years we're just like, yeah, we'll deal with it later. We don't get to pick when we deal with it.
No, dude. No, and I thought, man, recently, when I was talking to you at the retreat, it might have been maybe 6 months before that. My family was, at that point, my family was in Georgetown, Texas, and I was still at our property in North Dakota, still working oil field stuff, the consulting. And, dude, I'm a workaholic. Like, I don't stop, and it's a problem. It's something that we've worked on. It's something that my wife has been very, very good about supporting, but at the same time, helping me understand the things I neglect, because I just bury myself in progress, or so my perception of what progress is. And it's this relentless need to get things to the finish line. And even when you should take a break, there's no break. So I was in North Dakota by myself, giant house, man. It's like 6 bedrooms, it's a huge house. And I was there by myself, like basement, first floor. It's big house. And I didn't leave my office. Like, I would stay in my office or in my bedroom, and I go to the gym and I go to work. That was it, in the kitchen. And there was one evening, it was probably 11 o'clock or so on a Saturday night. And I was just like steadily down. Like, I was there for, I think this run was 6 weeks long, which I never go that long. I never go more than really 2 before coming home and hanging out, seeing my family, kind of getting re-energized, I guess, or refed. And I had gone 6 weeks on this one because there were some projects that needed to get completed. And there's some things I wanted to get done before the holidays, et cetera, et cetera. So I was there, and it was this evening, and it just steadily declined over the course of that time away from my wife, my son. And I just got fed up one evening on the Saturday night. It was probably around 11 o'clock or so. And then Leo, I had the book right there somewhere, Violence of Action. Leo Jenkins is, that one.
It's Leo and Marty.
Yeah, and I opened it. That's the poetry one, right?
No, the poetry one, I don't even know what the name of the poetry one is.
I got it somewhere. I just got to a new office. I'm unloading everything. I forgot which one it was. But anyway, it's been on my desk for a while, and I picked it up, opened it. Adderall, and like I wasn't sleeping, and I opened it and I started reading some of it, and there was this one poem that just everything. It just opened a door, man. It was like this one thing had a key to this closet that I shoved all the bad shit, like the stuff we talked about this last Wednesday, like just a lot of stuff like that I just buried, and then all the other little nuggets along the way of little things I just shoved in there, and it's just like I couldn't, like when you say you can't help when it wants to come out, motherfucker, it came out. Like, dude, I was a mess. Like I called my wife and she didn't know what to do, so she started panicking, and I was good because like I'm stronger than that, but like, I mean, fuck, dude, I was like 39 years old and still like, that 45 looks appealing kind of thing, and I wouldn't do that because I know that I have a duty to my son and my wife, but I shouldn't have that emotion. You know what I mean? Like, so like you can't just compartmentalize this shit. You gotta let it for a period of time, maybe until you're in a place where you can absorb and process and feel, because that's natural. It should stop. It's gonna stop. You're supposed to feel it. That's healthy. It's how you process that difficulty and that hardship, and what you do to heal yourself after that, after you felt it in its entirety. That's important. But when you just shove it away, it just compounds. And when it compounds to the point that, like, motherfucker, you can't fit any more in this room. Like I wasn't addicted to Adderall, but man, I was almost every day Adderall because I got to buy this house for my wife, got to put the money in this company. We have this next launch coming up for our clothing company. Like, I need to make money for this, make money for that. So like, it's produce. And it just got burnt out. And then that evening, dude, it was my wife stayed on the phone with me on FaceTime for probably, we slept on FaceTime that night.
Yeah.
And I'm a firm believer that if I don't want to say this, but like if I didn't have her that evening, things wouldn't have been different, but things would have been different, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like I would have had to internalize like again in a way where like, I'm not weather this shit. I'm not to process this because I never talked about it. Like
That's
there's stuff I haven't talked about. The stuff that we talked about last Wednesday, I haven't mentioned to anybody since Wednesday. Like that was the first time since Mosul that I'd even like communicated. You honestly even probably even thought about it, because it just gets put away, and then you just bury it under your life, and you just kind of get into a place, and it sucks, man. But like if you don't talk about it in a reasonable time, and you push 2 decades down the road, that shit piles up.
That's what happens, dude. And there, almost every experience you have is tainted with that still lingering, and almost of when's it gonna come? It's like, when things are
but then you're always living on edge. You're always like, is this gonna trigger me? Is that gonna
There was another shoulder, like, is this gonna come up at some point? You know what I mean? And it's just really, it's funny, man. We only been taught to manage these emotions through alcohol. That's what we've been taught. We've been taught to do it through alcohol or substance abuse, whatever that might be. A lot of guys went to marijuana, whatever the case, but never taught to like experience all the hardship raw, just straight up nothing. So then you can actually allow yourself to heal from it, right? Because if you're putting all these screens in front of you, you're not allowing yourself to feel this and understand it and cope with it and navigate it, manage it, right? You're not giving yourself the ability to do that. Your body can't respond that way. When you add alcohol to it, it's just a fabricated version of it. It's not real. You have to be able to experience all that hardship in the moment, explain it, talk about it, break it down. You have to allow your brain to really process that. And if you don't, it'll find a way. And it's gonna find a way through either your anger, your sex life, a million different things. It'll find a way. And then the sad part is, and if you don't ever heal it, then it's either gonna be pushed back onto your wife or your kids.
Yep.
And that's even more fucked up, dude. That's even more of a like, damn.
I think, that hits a lot different when I started coming to that realization, because like there was, I mean, before Tristan, like looking back, I was like, why am I looking back, like, yeah, you're an asshole to your son. Like that he's perfect, man. Like he's everything good in me. Like he has my grandmother's kindness and selflessness. He has my tenacity and work ethic. He's like, that's your evolution. Why are you not cultivating that as the best you can? Is this the best you can do? Like, cause it's pathetic, Joe. Like you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing as a man. And then that starts to weigh heavy. And when you don't know how to cope with that, and you start to feel sorry for yourself and you start to victimize yourself. I could do better. And then you start to, it just spirals down unless you talk to somebody. And I've tried traditional therapy, and I'm not saying this is just from speaking for myself. I've tried traditional therapy, man. That's just not for me. Like some asshole that just graduated college isn't going to tell me, like, I get it. You understand how the brain works. You read a few books, dude, but you really don't genuinely understand what it's like to go and do the shit that we did. And I'm not saying you have to be able to help me, but you can't just give me some blanket generic bullshit. Well, maybe you should journal. Like, okay.
That's what I think. I think traditional counseling will evolve to more of a mentorship experience.
Yeah. That's what it is now. That's what's happening now.
Yeah, exactly. That's what we're doing. Like what we're doing with like the Fuse, what we've done with the retreat. I think it's going to be giving guys, teaching them the tools and letting them work on themselves. I think is the only way. I think it's kind of like teach them how to put their pants on by themselves.
Yeah. And I think a lot of guys coming out that you would look up to, like, and I don't know how to say this. I mean, completely respectful here, but like, I'm just going to say it for what it is. Like when regular Army guy sees Navy SEAL guy, he thinks, oh, that motherfucker's cool as shit. Like when I see Jocko speak, I stop and I listen because like he embodies what a man is to me. But when guys like that are talking about their traumas and then talking about like plant medicine and stuff like that, and like all these guys that we look up to, or guys that look up to us when we talk, like it's letting them know that it's okay to feel this way. It's letting them know, like, well, this motherfucker's like talking about it.
Yeah, bro.
Okay. Because like you look at these guys, you idolize these, like the CAD guy. Those guys are like, that motherfucker's cool as shit. And like all he did was go to more training than you.
It's one of the coolest things I've seen in recent years is special operations lean into the wellness space, because now a lot of the social media, like popular kids are doing it too. It's like, David Goggins, right? Or whatever, whoever's doing it. It becomes a new fad. And it's really cool that the special operations community has kind of led that charge with like cold plunges and whatnot. When you see the special operations community, they definitely create an influence in social media that has been very successful. And you're not seeing so much of the bro vet old school kind of content as much as you're now seeing a lot more of like wellness, fitness, health, like mental health, like, and that's like very cool shit in our community.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, and there's so many guys doing podcasts like you, for example. And like, and then it creates more relationships, and those relationships branch out and it helps other guys. Like I went this last weekend, I went to shoot with this Navy SEAL in LA, Zach. I think his last name's Vargas. Zach, I don't know. I think Zach, super cool dude. And I saw him on a podcast talking about plant medicine and trauma, and that's what drew me in. And then I was like, oh, this guy he's an instructor. Cool. I haven't shot in a while. I'll fly out to LA and go shoot. And then I make this connection with this guy, and we start talking about plant medicine. And then he gets me hooked up with the guy that he does it with, and then from there, who do I help? And then it just ripples, and I think that it's just talking about it outside of the benefit of just speaking about it in its entirety and just expressing yourself. I think that it opens up not just the go ahead for guys to speak about this stuff. It also opens up doorways of communication with guys that can get you in touch with the right people that are going to work for you to make you healthy.
Yeah.
Like Diffuse, like how many guys broke down at the Tomorrow Battalion's retreat, man? Like crazy. How many guys, like, and how, like, you know what I mean? Like there was like, and I think our shit's fucked up. The shit some of these guys offered up with, like, motherfucker, dude.
I know,
and you're just a regular Army guy, man. Like you're not special operations or nothing. And I think for the longest time, I had like this, respectfully speaking here, like, oh, you're 87, or you're 101st, or you're like regular Marine guy or whatever. But it is ego, and then that needs to go away first off.
The ego that we have as leaders, bro. Trust me.
particularly Rangers, I feel like, because we go in at 18, it's a little different. We don't have that time to mature a little bit before we realize that we're douchebags. We just go in and be molded into douchebags.
Dude, I went to a group. Yeah, but go ahead. I'll take my group.
Like some of these guys, the shit they're opening up with, I was like, man, I've experienced some shit and I've seen some shit, but that's some shit. Like, dude, that's rough. Like, how are you like, you know what I mean? Like, it wasn't that you're on the other side of the doorway when that happens. Like, no, you did that.
Crazy thing about the whole small battalion and like the fuses, we've cultivated a community that leaves everyone trusting the space, right? It's like the trust tree. It's just cultivated because the people that we've invited, the people that we've entrusted with the whole organization, it makes the space of like, damn, I can say what I need to say. And it's cool, bro. It's like,
the thing is,
I create it. It's just, it manifested by people,
But it manifests by people, but it's the guys at the tip of the spear, like you, like that are genuine. Like, nobody feels like you're this motherfucker's just out to make money, or this guy's out to do this, or this guy. Like, no, like, it's genuine. It's real. Like, it's genuinely wanting to help your brothers. It's genuinely wanting to stop what you're doing to listen to this man talk because you care. And it's that give a shit, that genuine care for everybody's, for other men's mental health and well-being, particularly veterans, because, we're veteran, like we have, you had your groups. It hits different. It hits different when a guy that you look up to gives a shit. You know what I mean? Like, this motherfucker's really listening to me. Let me go and open up a little bit more. And then you don't know, maybe that extra 5 minutes that you gave that guy on the phone is going to be the difference between him pulling a trigger or not. Like, man, I really needed to just say all this out loud. I was like, brother, I'm always here, man. You can text me whenever, dude.
Yeah.
When I text you, and I know you're busy, you're super busy, but when I text you and it's something that can wait, you're like, are you good, man? Like, you want to make sure I'm healthy. But no, I'm good, brother. We can talk later, man. We're good. It's like, all right, cool. But like, you always make sure, like, are you good, man? Like, so I make sure you're good, because we've been around it. Yeah, because we've been, it's because we've been around enough of the, no, I'm not good, to understand that matters. Like, there's dudes out there that don't give a shit, that are influencers. There's guys out there that don't give a fuck, but they present themselves like they do. And they're.
That's why we created it, dude. I've seen too many people coaching, too many people, veterans, non-veterans, it doesn't matter. I've seen a lot of it I'm just like, nah, bro, that feels like a gimmick to raise money, and that's fine, but that ain't me.
No, right, exactly.
Just doesn't feel right.
I don't think it's all right. I think they're a bunch of assholes, but I don't, like, get the fuck out of this space. Go sell t-shirts or something. You know what I mean? Like, because we're genuinely, there's guys out here, you're just muddying up the water for the guys who genuinely want to. Because, like, I mean, look what we're doing with Tomorrow Battalion. It's completely non-profit. And like, we got 15 guys in the fuse call now, extra now the group's growing in a way where it's like, we're helping more and more. And it's free. It's free. It's just dudes wanting to help dudes, and it's building a community like that I think needs to stay pure. And you need to keep all the bullshit out of it. But when there's money somewhere, there's always some dickhead that's going to come out and try to capitalize or monetize it.
The big picture of it all, and I think it's the same for us, is we have to find ourselves in a place where we are willing to help ourselves. You know what I mean? And in that sense, like, everyone in that group, like, and these are for you guys who are listening, we're talking about our Wednesday night men's group that we have 15 to 20. 25 at a time people, and we have a counselor on the call every time, but we talk about some serious topics. But the point of it is, and the end of it is, like, to teach men to accept kind of like their situation in life, like, say, own your shit, but as well as then fix it. And then as well as you have a team here that's here to support that, but like, no one's here to do it for you. And that's like, I don't think enough people hold people accountable for their own shit. Like, get your shit done, dog. It's yours. You know what I mean? And in the era of like all these nonprofits out there giving them everything they could ever ask for, making their lives easy, it's made us very lazy to fucking help ourselves. And so we are a lot of people who live in the victim mindset, like, oh, woe is me. But then when you sit in that room and like 30 dudes, and dudes are telling you like, damn, their shit's fucked too. Their shit's fucked too. Everyone has shit. And like, oh, we all just have to figure it out. Like, Yeah, but you got a team now here that's helping you figure it out and kind of, I guess, reframe a lot of our thoughts so then it's a healthier perspective. But when you start having that, like I said, what we cultivated is a really cool space that I believe that if we could ball this model up and fucking throw it at a bunch of other people, it would be successful. But it's like, dude, we've been doing this for 2.5 years, and it's hard to grow, because if you grow it the wrong way, well, now you're chasing money. You know what I mean? And we're not chasing any money. And if you try and grow it organically, it's not for everyone. Like, we've had 5 or 6 people join the group like, hey, it's not for me. No big deal. Like, that sounds good. Everyone responds to things differently. But like, if this thing gets to 50, is it going to be out of control where it loses its foundation, right? It loses its I don't know, right? So I don't know how to do this in a way where I'm just like rolling with it, and like wherever it goes, at least we're able to help those individuals. If it grows more, how do I manage this where it keeps, its essence of what we've tried doing in the first place? Exactly. It's one of those. So, we have some ideas. What I'm doing right now, Lup, is we're developing the corporate version of this, where I can help people have good, strong leadership in their companies as well as wellness. And so I can introduce to you guys to, like, if I go into a corporate office and show them like, hey, here's good leadership skills. Let me show you some good leadership techniques, proven, tried, true, proven, blah, blah, blah. You know my background. And then go, but as well as, are you looking at your people who work for you, and you're looking out for their best interest in wellness? Because if you are, well, then they'll sustain themselves a lot longer, which means you'll have a healthier culture. If you aren't, well, then you're going to start having dudes fall off because of their own issues, right? Their own personal lives will spill into your corporate life, and then you won't have as good of production. And so hopefully I'm able to ball up this beast of like the fuse and bring it into the corporate world, teach them leadership. That is, again, my version of the leadership that I believe is important and healthy. But that's where you come along, is I've been looking for someone in the fitness world that matches my independent needs, because I'm very independent in my world. I need someone like you who's very independent in your world, who can take your space and run it. Because it's hard, bro. It's hard because I have a lot of really good fitness friends, but everyone has their own goals and what they want to do. And I can't say, hey, Lup, you take the wheel and drive, because, I could do that with you. And that's why I think the future with this is huge, because
it's genuinely want to serve, genuinely want to help, because that's what helps me. It helps me. It keeps me healthy, and a healthier dad is a healthier husband. A healthier husband is a healthier home.
Boom.
Like when you look at it from a 30,000 foot view, it's like, well, I'm not just helping these dudes get in shape. I'm helping them develop skills that are the groundwork to becoming a better man. They're starting to develop more consistency, understanding how critical discipline is, and at the same time, slowly start to appreciate what delayed gratification is. Like, this is going to take time, but so long as you put the work in, things get better, and that roots deep, and then it bleeds into everything else in your life. Like, that's why getting up and doing the hard thing I was doing when I was in North Dakota, like just getting up and doing that hard thing for 10 or 12 minutes, it's rooted in like, stay consistent, stay disciplined, because that's what you need. Those are the skill sets. Those are the traits you need as a man to be a better father, to be a better husband, to better provide, to better protect, to just better serve society. And if you don't hone those traits, you get lazy. If you get lazy, you don't produce. If you don't produce, you start to feel sorry for yourself. You start to lash out at everyone around you. And if you start lashing out at everyone around you, now everybody else is getting drugged down because you're a piece of shit, because you can't get up and do something. And so fitness is just a doorway into developing and honing those traits, along with, get your work done, eat your breakfast, whatever, cook food, thing, whatever. But like, those are ways that speak to most men, because what man doesn't want to be fit, generally speaking? What man doesn't want to be in better shape? What man isn't going to get motivated when the scale moves 15 pounds in 2.5 weeks? And those are things that help him, like I said, hone those skills that bleed over to everything else in his life.
You know what I like is the way you approach it, because there's people that are like, are you tired of being a fat ass dad or whatever? And it's like attacking.
Dude. Like, fight me.
attacking?
I want to fight those guys.
Bro, that attacking for me is this. It's like, when I see that, it's like, all right, homie, on my best day, I'd smoke everything you've ever touched. On my best days of fitness, I would have crushed everything that you ever fucking held dear. That's how good I was. You know what I mean? The other side of it is I'm very successful in certain areas of my life that most people won't ever be. I've just been very good at certain things. And I personally have gone through help. Most people don't know my heart issues that I have, right? I've been restarted 4 fucking times in my life. Most of you have never know what it's like to ride the lightning, bro. I'll tell you what it's like to have lightning shut on my fucking toes, okay? So that issue is one of my big problems that I psychologically also have to get past. But 2, I've just been busy and it's just giving to so many people. I've delayed my own health. That's my fault. I need to fix that. That's my fucking, I can own that shit, right? And it's not like I don't know how to get in shape. It's just really hard for me to focus on me when I have everything else on the table. But, you know, at this point in my life, I've done a lot where I'm proud of. So when someone comes at me with that approach, I'm like, just fuck you, dog. Like, you got abs. Cool, bro. I fucking have done so much for the fucking communities. I'm cool. I can live in this body right now and be okay. I definitely want to be a better version of me. I definitely want to get my ass in shape. I definitely want to be able to fucking run around my kid when he's in high school and still fucking have fun. And so those are in my head. Like, I know I need to fucking change, but I'm not going to sit here and allow some fucking piece of shit with abs to talk shit to me. Fuck him too.
Yeah, no, dude, 100%, dude. Like, I want to fight all those guys. I mean, now that since I've been training Muay Thai, I'm like, I can beat that mother. I fucking switch kick that motherfucker's leg into the dirt and his elbow right, you know, like, yeah, and that's the aggressive shit that I'm still working on. But it just, I get it because the thing is it works as much as I hate it. Like, let's take like Wes Watson, for example. I think he's an absolute fucking douchebag. But there are thousands of men that he speaks to that are doing better now because he just is who he is. Whether we agree with it or not isn't the reality. Is like, I don't fucking like your approach at all. I think it's toxic. I think it's trash. I think you're a fucking fake piece of shit. That's my opinion. The reality is there's thousands of dudes who are doing better, who are getting up and doing the things that he says to do. And they just, it speaks to some men. And I think at the end of the day, I don't know if it's good or bad. I don't know if this just creates more assholes, but in the interim, like this guy's getting in better shape. He's probably being a better husband to his wife because he's feeling more confident. That's bleeding over to other things that he's able to keep up with his kid in the backyard now. So now his kid's happier. He's creating a relationship with his son. So like, I try to look at the silver lining. Well, what's the net gain out of this asshole? Well, he's probably helping dudes. Like, and there's plenty of guys that are like that who I just don't agree with at all because they just don't speak to me. Like, it doesn't come. And for me, those guys are about money, which is like my other problem. Like, you're not genuine. But whether you're genuine or not, there's still some dudes that are net positive because of you.
Yeah, I mean, that's true. Maybe it's because of my years of military and I'm just like, don't yell at me. Like, talk to me like a person. You know, maybe that's what it is. But yeah, you're absolutely right. There's thousands of people that go with these dudes and thousands of them improve their lives. And so maybe it's what they needed to hear. Yeah. It shuts me off personally when I hear
absolutely.
that.
Makes me same for me. Like, I think for most like soft guys, like veteran guys, like that shit doesn't really necessarily always work. But for the dude who went to college, now he's a computer programmer, but he used to be like a football player in high school, but now he's like 40, he's 65 pounds overweight. But still deep inside of him, he's got like that little jock, that little like bully jock guy he was in high school that still speaks to him, is trying to make its way out. And if that's the asshole that you have to attach yourself to help you become a better man, cool. That's the first step. Now grow out of that because that shit's not healthy. You don't want your kid to grow up being a fucking asshole. So like, now grow out of that, use that as your stepping stone to get you on your feet. But now start to wade through your own bullshit to figure out what vehicle is best for you. You know, because maybe it's church. Maybe it's golf with your buddies. Maybe it's going to traditional counseling. Maybe it's a men's group or something else. But I can guarantee you at the end of the day, it's not going to be this guy. But if that guy got you on the right course, on the right track, awesome. I'm happy for you. But don't run around calling other men who are trying to do better pieces of shit because they're not 6 months down the road like you are. Like, if this dude's dropping the ball over and over and over, but he keeps picking it up and trying, help him understand where he's dropping the ball and how he can pick it up and keep moving instead of calling him a fat piece of shit and that he's lazy and then he doesn't have his shit to get. Like, you're a dick, dude. You're a dick. I understand like tough love and all that, but like, you're not going to create healthy, strong men by demoralizing them consistently. We're not sending these guys to war.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you're trying to help you're trying to help this man become a better husband and a better father. You're not going to do it by just continuing to fucking berate him.
Yeah, I know.
Like,
it's something I don't, the psychology behind it frustrates me. It's just like, nothing. Either way, well, bro.
But at the same time, these guys are fueled by
some people that want that. Some people need it.
It's monetary gains. That these guys, and if it works, they found a recipe. That just becomes who they are, and that's just the way they run the game, and that's the way they run. That's the way they run. That is what it is. Still want to fight them.
I think sustaining, I don't know if that's sustaining personally. I think long run, people will see past the smoke and mirrors and just want human connection.
I think that's where the culture is going now. I think we're slowly starting to shift away from that type of alpha bullshit, because that's not alpha. Like true alpha, it's kindness, it's empathy, it's genuinity, but at the same time, it's capable, it's strong, it's honest, it cares. That's alpha.
I agree.
That's a guy that motherfucker's got his shit together. That's a man I aspire to be. I always use Jocko as my standard, because like the dude, he just, to me, my perspective of him is like, he's the epitome of like, just do what you're supposed. Things got fucked up. Okay, take a step back, reanalyze, figure out another plan, engage. Where are my gaps? Well, this guy's having this problem. Okay, cool. What does he need from me as a leader to help him facilitate the task that he's been assigned? You know, it's not like this guy intentionally did the wrong thing. I can't imagine if somebody fucks up something in your company, he didn't do it on purpose. What do you need from me to help you do what I need you to do for all of us to win? Do you need more time? Do you need more resources? Do you need more training? Do you need me to show you something again? What do you need from me as a leader? Not, fuck this guy, point my finger at him, point my finger at him. It's like, well, did you communicate to him what the problem is and help him develop a plan to fix it? Because maybe he's just not seeing what you're seeing. So that's why I like Jocko, dude. I love Jocko because he's helped me become much more aware of what true, genuine leadership is. And that is coupled with true alpha. Because that type of man who's that type of leader is the same kind of leader at his home. Like, my wife's upset. Okay, well, what's wrong? Let's talk about it. Well, I don't like her either, but whatever.
I try and raise my son like that, but sometimes he pisses me off. Like,
it's different. It's different with kids because like their hormones are all over the place and they're gonna test the boundaries of things, and that's.
I told him
that's an opportunity.
Yeah,
that's an opportunity for you to become better and develop yourself as a better man, to be better for him, to show him what it is to be better.
Yeah.
So I look at all those opportunities that I drop the fucking ball on like that. I'm like, fuck. All right, man. Here, bud. This is what I did wrong. This is how I could have did different. I'm sorry, but this is what I need from you. Okay, Dad.
My son's 15, bro, and so he's in the middle of just being complete teenage knucklehead, and it's fun because, you know, I give him shit. I raise him tough, and he's a tough wrestler. But you know, I'd made him, when he gets punished, there's a thing we do in our house. It's called, is it punishment or improvement? And is it gonna make you better, or I'm just punishing you because I'm mad? Well, everything I do, it's going to be improvement instead of punishment, right? And so, like, he gets in trouble, it's going to be improvement. We're going to find a way to make it better. And so he reads a lot of cool books. I make him read a lot of the books that we would read and stuff like that. And so he's learning all these different special operations books, all these different, like, leadership books, all these different things. And he's tripped out because now he comes back with these cool questions and shit. But one of the things that C-Bomb said in an interview, and I thought was fucking brilliant, he says that at some point, your kids will know the real you. You know, when they're younger, they see us as superheroes. They see us as like the perfect man. We do all the right things. Most kids, right? They look at the dad as like the man of the house. And eventually, they'll see the real you. And that's up to you to give them the best version of you, or else they're going to see like, yeah, my dad is not this dude that I thought he was. You know, or you're going to say, my dad is the man, whatever that is. And so, you know, I try and lead from this place of honesty in our household, and hopefully he knows I am only human. I've done my best. And in the end, I try to teach you from all the places and mistakes that I've made, and hopefully to make you a better father than I am. So in the future that you're raising even better men than I could possibly have.
That should be every man's goal. Should be every man's it should be every father's intention and purpose in life is to pass on all the good things about him so his son can be better. That's it. But you set the standard for your son to exceed.
Absolutely. Well, dude, it's time. Well, thank you so much, man. Really appreciate it. You guys go check out Stage 4 Training. You can check them on Instagram. Do you ever change is it stage4training.com as well?
Yeah, that's just their website's kind of whatever. Just Instagram. But at the same time, my wife coaches with us as well. She's like our lead trainer, and she's an IFBB figure pro. So there's a lot, mostly bodybuilding chicks on there. My coaching is just kind of referrals and stuff like that. People reach out to me personally at, what is my Instagram? At Mr_J_Lup, Joe Lup, JOELUP, Mr.
I'll make sure I link it when I post this.
So that's primarily where I talk about fitness. It's not necessarily the Stage 4 stuff because that's
cool,
kind of niche into like female bodybuilding.
Well, listen, those who are watching and listening, this is my boy here, but we were talking a lot about the men's wellness group. That's on our Wednesday nights. You can find that on my Instagram links. It is a call for men every Wednesday, and this is not first responder and veteran only. This is everyone, because I believe that the only way that we can transition in a healthy way is being able to work with our counterparts, all human beings. And the best way to work together, us men, is push each other to be the better version of ourselves. So if you guys are interested in being a part of that group, message me on Instagram and we'll get you the link to check it out. Listen, we're here to help. That's the point of it. That's the point of this whole conversation, is to talk honest and truth. So if you guys need anything, hit us up. All right. Love you. Later. Thanks, love.
All right, man. Thanks, dude. Later.